Last week, the S&P 500 declined 0.3%, the Nasdaq lost 0.1%, and the Dow Jones fell 1%. U.S. stock prices pulled back amid volatility, triggered by President Trump's announcement of tariffs on Canada and numerous other countries. Those tariffs are effective from August 1st, unless deals with the U.S. are reached before then. Crude oil prices rose to a 2-week high, while natural gas prices edged higher after touching a 6-week low. Gold and silver prices surged, with silver rising to its highest level since 2011. Platinum and palladium prices rose sharply, with both hitting multi-month highs on better economic news from China. In a move that could cause volatility early in the week, on Saturday, the U.S. administration announced 30% tariffs against its largest trading partner, the EU, and on Mexican imports, which would take effect on August 1st, if no deals are concluded before then. President Trump is expected to announce measures against Russia on Monday, which could include oil sanctions and secondary tariffs on countries that import Russian energy. On Wednesday, U.S. inflation data will be posted and is expected to impact the Fed's decision on when to cut interest rates. Google's price advanced 0.98%, with the stock price rising to a 4-month high by the end of the week. The tech-linked stock rose after Google's AI mode, introduced in May, continued to outperform expectations, increasing investor confidence in its products against rival AI platforms such as ChatGPT. Recent weeks have seen numerous upgrades from investment banks and brokerages. Oppenheimer raised its price target to $220, while Citi reaffirmed its buy rating, stating that 85% of U.S. users still use Google Search. Market participants are also positioning themselves ahead of Google's earnings results on July 29th. American Airlines' stock price jumped 4.65% to record a 4-month high before pulling back slightly on profit-taking. It's been a positive couple of weeks for the airline industry as U.S. Independence Day domestic aircraft travel saw an increase of 1.4% to around 5.84 million journeys. Delta Airlines posted record-breaking Q2 earnings, driven by an increase in bookings, which lifted sentiment in the wider sector. On July 10th, Barclays raised its price target on American Airlines to $11. American Airlines will post its earnings results on July 24th. Crude oil prices jumped 4.26% in a strong week for the commodity. Houthi attacks disrupted shipping lanes in the Red Sea early in the week, while on Thursday, reports emerged that President Trump would make a major statement concerning Russia on Monday, amid speculation that the U.S. will impose oil sanctions against the country and possibly countries that import Russian energy. In a report, the IEA also pointed to tight physical supply, despite OPEC's recent supply increases. Gold prices rallied 0.81%, driven mostly by renewed trade war concerns after President Trump announced tariffs on Canada, Japan, South Africa, and Brazil, although the deadline for trade deals was extended until August 1st. Traders grew increasingly edgy towards the end of the week, fearing that similar tariffs would be imposed on major trading partners, the EU and Mexico. Fed meeting minutes showed that while no immediate July rate cut was expected, members believe any increase in inflation is expected to be temporary. The news caused markets to price in 2 rate cuts this year. Platinum prices surged to a more than 10-year peak, rising 4.58% last week amid tight supply and increased demand. The global platinum market is facing a deficit for the 3rd straight annual shortfall amid South African mining production falling by 24%. On the demand side, a sharp rise of 26% in Chinese platinum demand for jewelry kept the market tight. Recent U.S. cuts to electric vehicle subsidies could boost demand for traditional diesel or gasoline-powered cars, which use catalytic converters that require platinum. The USD-JPY pair increased 2%, rising to a near 3-week high after the U.S. announced 25% tariffs on Japan and hinted further duties could be imposed, creating a surge in safe haven dollar demand. There is increased speculation among economists in Japan that the Bank of Japan could be forced to delay interest rate hikes until the end of the year due to potential economic damage from U.S. tariffs.